Hi everybody, I'm back again. So this we're going to continue with detailed explanation solution for Science 2, Chapter 1, Heredity and Evolution. I know this is the most tedious part of the chapter, and मुझे भी बहुत थकान हो रही है ये चैप्टर से मैं भी बोर हो गई हूँ तो नेक्स्ट चैप्टर पे जल्दी जल्दी जाना है इसीलिए ये पार्ट खत्म करना पड़ेगा अ, ये बहुत ज़्यादा थ्योरी है बहुत डेप्थ में बायो है पर जितना बुक का कवरेज है मींस हाउ मच एवर द बुक हैज कवर्ड आई हैव ट्राइड टू स्टिक टू दैट एंड नॉट go out of the syllabus so that it doesn't become too much of a burden for you. It is just basically you should understand what the concept is. ठीक है तो मैंने भी उतना ही try किया है. I hope you'll like it and you'll are liking it. So let's just revisit what we have done. So this is part 1.6, but we'll just, as we always do, we'll just have a glance of what we have already done. So in part 1.5, we understood Darwin's theory of natural selection. We understood what is Lamarckism. We understood speciation. We also saw the objections for both. Like we saw what were the objections of people as to Darwin's theory of natural selection. Also, what was amiss in Lamarck's theory. Okay, again objections. Okay, so let's take a glance. So in Darwin's theory, his book Origin of Species, he says that he preaches or he talks about survival of the fittest. जो सबसे strong होगा वो survive होगा, बाकी सब perish होंगे या मर जाएंगे, ठीक है? But what did Darwin fail to tell us? That yes, and what did he say? That the survival of the fittest happens through nature. Nature will help. Nature selects them. Also, modifications happen in their body but he did not explain how these modifications happen. So those were the objections. That is, first of all, nature was not the only factor responsible for evolution, nor did he explain the modifications. Also, the changes that happened, whether they were slow or abrupt, why did they happen was not explained clearly. Here we see a distinct understanding between, this is just an example, okay, so that you'll understand what is the, so that you don't mix up while writing the theories. Lamarck said that these particular organisms, they use, when they use their particular organs or they do activities, so the modifications happen. Okay, that was what was Lamarck said. What Darwin says is that now these are the plants that already exist. Okay, some were tall, so they could eat. The ones that could not eat perished or died. This is as simple as that. That's what Darwin said. So this was the difference between Lamarck and Darwin. Let's see now. In short, so here we covered the textbook question 4A in detail, where we understood about what is Lamarckism. We saw the examples of a neck of a giraffe, the shoulders of an Adam Smith, the wings of a bird. Also, we saw the legs of birds like swan and the duck. Also, we saw that snakes have lost their legs because of this modification. We concluded that acquired characters, okay, this is nothing but the acquired characters or inheritance of the acquired characters. This is known as Lamarckism. And he also claimed that they were transferred from one generation to the other. But his theory was disapproved. Why? Uh, they said that this was widely accepted that yes, because of specific activities, the organs develop, but they did not get transferred from one generation to the other. So that was rejected. Okay. They said that the modifications brought in us are not transferable. Okay. Let's see now what are we going to do in the remaining. Okay. One more thing that we did was speciation. Speciation. Okay, that is the species of whether man or animal or birds or whatever, that happens due to three reasons. One is geography is the reason. Second, reproduction is the reason. Second reason, and the third is genetic variation. Okay, as I said, as I explained, you all see this is a river. My drawing is that not that good. So man will have to eat, drink, survive in a particular environment. So this is your geography. It will have to reproduce in order for his species to generate, and in order for them to evolve and sustain on this planet, they need genes. Okay, so here is your geography 1, here is your reproduction 2, and this is genetic variation because of which they survive on planet Earth. So that's how I had described speciation for you all. Let's see. So in part 1.6, we are going to deal with human evolution, which is a vast topic in this particular chapter. Okay, we're going to deal it in parts by parts so that you'll understand. Okay. So in this part, we're only going to deal with human evolution in detail, how humans evolved. Okay. So let's start with detailed explanation and solution for science 2, chapter 1, heredity and evolution, part 1.6. Yes, and in this we're going to do human evolution in detail. So let's start. So here, okay, human evolution. Biodiversity today is formed from unicellular organisms due to evolution. So we already know biodiversity. I told you bio means anything that has life, that is plants and animals both. We have evolved from a unicellular organism due to evolution. This we saw time and again. In this evolution, origin of human evolution can be shown as follow. So now we're going to be seeing this picture again and again to understand human evolution. Just let me tell you all a little bit about it in short, and then I will explain the remaining points over here that you can see. So first, the lemur scale, okay, that is around 7 crore years ago. Then modifications happened and this monkey-like animal developed. Then evolution took place because we could have to survive our needs. So we had the Dryopithecus. Then evolution continued. We had the Ramapithecus, and these then it developed into an Australopithecus. Okay, that is somewhere around 40,000 years ago. Then we had the skilled human around 20,000 years ago. Then we had a man with an erect posture, and then the Neanderthal and the Cro-Magnon. You have to remember this chronology, okay? And we will be understanding each slowly by slowly. In this part, we will deal till here, okay? Somewhere till here we are going to deal with. So this is this part till here we are going to deal in these points, okay? Last dinosaurs disappeared approximately 7 crores years ago. At this time, monkey-like animals are said to be evolved from our ancestors, who were more or less like the lemurs. So lemur, they're taking the lemur to be the starting point, you can say. That is 7 crore years ago. Tail of these monkey-like animals of Africa is said to disappear about 4 crore years ago. See, here the tail disappeared about 4 crore years ago. Means after 7 crore years ago, it kept on evolving. So around 4 crore years ago, the tail like thing that the monkey had, that disappeared, and we could see somebody like this. They were known as the Egyptopithecus. Okay, let's see what happened. Then the development started taking place, the brain got enlarged, they improved, and ape-like animals developed. So this were the ape-like animals. That was the Dryopithecus around 2.5 crore years ago. See now kids, there is a thing in this. Now they developed into two types of. First, some of them stayed over there wherever they evolved into, and they evolved into gibbon and orangutan kind of animals. The remaining ape-like animals developed into gorilla and chimpanzee. So here there is a split. Okay, here some animals developed into, remained how they are, not many modification, and some kept on evolving. Okay, so here from 2.5 crore years ago, there goes two ways. The other one is not shown because we are studying only about human evolution over here. Okay, but they are mentioned over here, some of them. So meanwhile, these ape-like animals reached South or Northeast Asia and finally evolved into gibbon and orangutan. So some evolved into gibbon and orangutan. Remaining ape-like monkeys stayed in Africa, and from them came the gorillas, the chimpanzees, who evolved 2.5 crore years ago. This, okay, somewhat this like animal. Let's see what happens further. So as we studied, first came the lemur. The tail disappeared into this Egyptopithecus. Okay, the brain started developing. Then came the Dryopithecus, which was ape-like animal. I told you there was a split. Okay, this you cannot say backward, but here the animal kingdom may be explained, can be explained. I'm not sure, but here we are going to be understanding what happened further in the human evolution. Okay, so let's go further. Evolution of some 2 crore year old species of apes seems to have been occurred in a different way. So this evolution that occurred, that we are going to see from here to here, it happened in a very different way. You can see the body structure also. Okay, you can see the body structure, their hands and legs, how they are evolving. Okay, they had to use their hands more for eating food and other work. So they had to use it for eating food and the other work. Apes started to live on land as forests and started to at forests started to decline. So the forest started declining, they had to live on land. If they had to live on land, they had to make more use of their hands, legs, try to light the fire, try to cook their food, try to hunt, fight with each other so that they could survive. So all this started happening. Because of so much movement, the lumbar bones developed. Okay, and hands became available to use anytime. This, the first human like animal with erect posture developed. So, this is an animal with a erect posture like developed around 2 crore years ago. So, somewhere in the middle of these two boys, okay, there was a man with an erect posture, okay, some 2 crore years ago. So that was first human-like animals. You can see more or less they have a erect posture over here. Okay, let's see further now. So we studied, let us revise again. So first we had the lemurs with the tail, then the tail disappeared. We had the ape-like animals. They kept on developing, the brains developed, and they started using their hands, legs more because they moved from the forest to the lands. And then we had somewhere in the middle of these two, we had a man with an erect posture who could, you know, who could survive in a better way. ठीक है, let's see first. First record of human-like animal is with us from the Ramapithecus. So somewhere over here, first human-like animal was the Ramapithecus ape. Okay. Then afterwards, as the ape grew up in size, he became more intelligent. Thus evolved an ape around 40 lakh years ago. This was the Australopithecus. Okay, this is what they are talking about. Height is more, it is more erect, the posture is more erect, size is more, and it is more intelligent. You can see the tools in his hand. Okay, morphology of these human-like animals, it started to appear, and they looked more like a genus. Homo means Homo sapiens, human-like animals. Okay, around 20 lakh years ago, and they were known as the skilled humans. They made fire. They lived in clans. They hunted. Okay, so all this happened. They were known as the skilled humans. Okay, after the skilled humans, around 50 crore years ago, came the man with an erect posture. See, kids, you have to remember this chronology very well. If you remember this diagram, you can write about them. Okay. Then after that, around somewhere after some 15 lakh years ago was the man with the erect posture. Then came the Neanderthal man, and as we know, some around 50,000 years ago came the Cro-Magnon man, Neanderthal man and the Cro-Magnon man. So you have to remember this particular chronology. Okay. So let's see the last and summarizing this part. Okay. First came the lemurs with the tail disappeared, came our ape-like animal. He started thinking, he became a more intelligent, the posture became a little more erect, and they moved from the forest to the land. Then came our Ramapithecus, which was more intelligent. He kept on hunting, he kept on building his like not say empire, but they kept on living further and further, hunting animals. And then came the Australopithecus. After that, the skilled man, because of evolution, morphological evolution that occurred, and use of their body, hands, and legs developed the skilled human. Okay. Then man with an erect posture, a proper erect posture developed after the skilled human. Then came the Neanderthal, very close to human looking animals. Then came the Neanderthal and the Cro-Magnon man. Okay, so this is the chronology of how human evolution happened. Okay, just remember particular points in each, and then you'll be able to write this answer. Okay, evolution of upright man continued. As we said, evolution of the upright man continued around about 1 lakh years ago. Meanwhile, fire was discovered. Brain of 50,000-year-old man has been sufficiently involved, so the brain also evolved, and it was considered as a member of class of wise mans known as the Homo sapiens. 10,000 years ago, they started practicing agriculture, rearing cattle, establishing cities. Cultural development also took place. Divide this 10,000 by 2. They developed this art of writing around 50,000 years ago. Divide around again by 2. So say around 4,000, roughly 4,000 years ago, the modern sciences developed. Okay? So these are rough figures. Okay? So this is, kids, I am not going into any detail. I'm not an expert of history or bio over here, but I have tried to explain in the best way possible that I can understand these concepts, so that we stay limited to the syllabus, and we do justice to it. So I have tried to explain in the easiest way possible. If you all want a series in any in specific a little more Hindi, or if you all want me to make it a little more simpler, please do write in the comment section and let me know. Okay, I hope this has helped you. And yeah, so this is much for human evolution. We are going to deal with in one part 1.7. I left best for the last. That is best for me and best for you. I've left the formation of complex proteins. In that we're going to deal with what something called as central dogma, transcription, triplet codon, translation, and translocation. We're going to deal with in part 1.7. So I wish I meet you over there. Before you go on to this part 1.7, make sure you'll watch the remaining parts. Thank you. Bye. So hope you've all enjoyed this part of the chapter series, just as you would enjoy your favorite book with a hot cup of tea. So ECOT, that is everyone's cup of tea, will bring to you many more such chapter series along with detailed explanation and solution of the exercises that are there in your textbook. We wish to bring to you this and more at zero cost, so that the hardest chapters become your cup of tea. So help us by clicking on this button. Get notified about our upcoming chapter series. Also, share it to help us define education through equality. Do message us any doubts that you have on our Instagram handle, everyone's cup of tea, and we promise to answer them. Thank you and keep sipping. Bye.